Hello everyone, in this video I want to talk about what's new with Noteey. So we recently got a new update 1.17.0 and it comes with some new features. The previous version didn't have as many features in it. It did do a lot of or fix a lot of bugs, and this one here actually has a few features that are worth having a video for here and that are notable. The first one is that now you can actually view the board or another project in the side pane. So if we open up the side pane now, we get this new icon called projects, and you can click on here. It'll show you a list of projects. You can click on the project, and then that will open up the one of the boards on in this side pane here. So if we kind of collapse this to give a little bit more space, now you can have two boards open at the same time. You see I got one on the left, and then I have another here on the right. And you can basically just look at information from one and the other, and take your visual note taken to another level when you're kind of comparing data. You cannot drag and drop any of the elements or objects from one to the other. This is something that potentially might come in the future. I'm not sure, but you can copy and paste, or you should be able to copy and paste stuff from one to the other. We can see how that project actually pasted in on there. So if you want to get stuff from one to the other, you can do this copy paste action, have them both open at the same time, and do that there. The next one is that you now get floating windows. So let's go ahead and close this one here. What we will do is we will open up a card here, or create a new card, and let's just call it new card. And what we'll do is open this up in pop-up mode. So we'll open it up in pop-up. This is nothing really new as far as opening up into this particular view. You can open it up in pop-up. You can go full screen. You can go back to that pop-up view. And then what you can do from here though is you can actually pin this. So when you pin it, it will now kind of change itself to a floating window that is always going to be floating here. So if we were to minimize, let's see, all the stuff that's there in the background, we can see everything in the background there. We can have this particular card open, and it actually sits on top of all the different elements that are within the Noteey app. So if we open up the side pane there, we can see that it floats over that side pane. If we open up the right side pane, we can see it also floats over here. Now, while it is directly related to the project, you can only really pin these from after you've opened them from a project. You can switch projects around. So if I was to come in here and let's say I wanted to change to a different project, I can change to a project that doesn't have this actual card on it, and it still sits out and above the everything else here. Now you could have this as a a card just for scratch or note taking stuff, taking down notes that are just comes to your mind, and you just have it open all the time. This could be the daily journal. You can open it up and have that open at all times. So the world is kind of your oyster here on how you use this. One thing you do not get is any like pre-snapping type capabilities to where you can fit this to a third of the screen, a quarter of the screen, half the screen, so on and so forth. You will have to kind of size and resize the screen the way you need to. And I've also noticed that it only at this point will resize or get to a certain height, and then it won't get any smaller. You can see it's kind of moving around there. It won't get any smaller than this on my screen. It just moves around, but you can make it bigger, and this is something that I've mentioned to the devs, that this limitation here should be something that they should look at, and I would say probably even fix this to where it can be as small as I want it to, just like you can on the board. But this will work here if I want to open up another card. Let's go ahead and do a pop-up there. We can pen, and you can have multiples of these sitting open. So it's really there to use how you want to use it within your workflow. I don't know how often I'll use this myself, at least not in a window type setting. I would probably have to fill up my entire screen here, my display, so that I have much more room in order to take advantage of these, because I think they do kind of, you can see right now they get in the way of the board in the background. But if you want to focus on a couple cards at the same time and kind of go back and forth and edit those or have them side by side, you can do that in this way instead of just having the side pane available and then doing it from the side pane, because you could open a card here, and if you want it, you could have a card that's open over here as well. So if we go here, let's do this again, you could have two cards open side by side like this here and kind of resize them this way. So you have options and flexibility. The next feature is that the calendar, and or just say the journal in general, the user experience has changed a bit. So if we click on the journal, previously there used to be a like dates up at the top here in the top bar, toolbar, and you can kind of go back and forth within time at ease, just kind of going up to the top and clicking around. There was also this calendar icon was sitting over to the right. I'll put up a video to kind of show what it used to look like. And now the calendar icon, you can open the calendar and it opens up in this left side pane. So this, I think in my opinion, this was a little bit better when it just opened up a little pop-up modal and you pick the date and then it disappeared. Right now it just kind of takes up a lot of space here, and you cannot resize this calendar left hand bar. You can only toggle it on and toggle it off. So it kind of is what it is right now. I was a little curious of wondering whether this is kind of a sign of things to come, and I don't think so. I also kind of thought that maybe because they're looking at developing the web and mobile apps, maybe having that the old way of how they had presented the timeline at the top there, they need to change that to make it a little bit easier for the web app. But those are just my thoughts, my ideas on why this change could have been done. I haven't really gotten any information about why the change was done, but it is a lot cleaner, I would say. The UI is cleaner, but this does take up a lot of space versus what we previously had for the calendar. And I can actually show here, so like if I pick an actual journal date here, let's see if we can replicate and show what I'm talking about. So here I've opened up the journal in the side pane, and before we had navigation up at the top on this side here, but it was at the top, and it also had a few days on it depending on how big or wide the screen was. And you also had this calendar icon here that when you clicked on it, it did the little pop up here. You select a date and then it would disappear. So I think this is a bit more optimal and cleaner in my opinion than opening up this side pane and then having to click again to close it. But it is what it is. The next and last feature update here is going to be around the filtering options here. So if you need to find out which cards you have in your library that have no tags, you now have the option to find all of those with no tags. So this could help you get in and actually tag some of your notes that you might have in your environment or in your library. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. If you like the content on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next time, have a nice day.